Hello and welcome to WELSTech, the place we explore the intersections of technology and ministry. Today on the show, we're joined by our old friends, Rachel Feld and Jason Schmidt, as well as a new friend, Paul Patterson, to talk about an exciting new conference called the WELS Education Conference happening in 2022. We're so happy you decided to join us. Enjoy the show. WELSTech is a bi-weekly podcast exploring the intersections of technology and ministry. It is part of the podcast network sponsored by WELS, the Wisconsin Evangelical Lutheran Synod. Our show today is hosted by Martin Spriggs and Sally Draper. Welcome back to WELSTech, everybody. This is Martin Spriggs, and this is a show about technology and ministry, episode 663. We're recording it on September 28th, 2021. And joining me, as usual, plus others, which we'll get to in a minute, Sally Draper. Hey, Sally Draper, how are you?
I am excellent, Martin. Very excited for today's show. It's a whole new WELSTech as of today, as we are including video in today's episode.
Right. We realize most of our listeners, quote unquote listeners, are truly listeners, and we recognize that. But there's just some things that people want to see. So we want to meet their needs as well. So we decided, we're doing this every other week now. So we've got a little bit more time to plug into not just the audio, but the video. We've added a few new things, and we added a whole new intro, which Sally hasn't even heard yet. So you'll have to kind of feign, applause because of how good it is, because you'll only see it after you record this, but it's very good.
Oh, I'm sure. I have total trust in my AV guy. So
Right. Also joining us in this, you may see, those of you on the video, see a couple of extra faces on the show, and two of them are very familiar, probably. One of those is Rachel Feld from Martin Luther College. Hey, Rachel, welcome back to the show.
Hey, Martin. Thanks for having me back again.
What's going on up at the Hill? School year underway, everything going well?
It is underway. We are so happy to have all of our students back on campus and face-to-face classes. The best part by far is getting to go to chapel and hear everyone singing. That opening service was just fantastic. Best part of our day.
Excellent. And then from up northern Wisconsin, that is our friend Jason Schmidt. Hey, Jason, thanks for joining us again.
Hey, Martin, I will not let my wife know that you called Green Bay up north. She will probably hunt you down and correct you vigorously.
So for Green Bay, there's further north. I mean, you're not not far enough north.
We're not near far enough north. Yep. Nope. Hey, it's got to be at least another hour before we can be up north, I guess.
That's the radius. Okay.
That's what I hear. Bay. Yeah. I don't know, either that or you got to be far enough from population where there are more trees than people. So
gotcha.
WELSTech geography, huh?
Hey, exactly. That sounds like a future podcast episode, I think.
New segment. Right. Yeah, there you go.
Segment. Right. Exactly. We also have joining us Paul Patterson from the Center for Mission and Ministry. Thanks for joining us, Paul.
Thanks for having me, Martin.
Paul is not going to be a regular guest unless he really shines here. So this is kind of an audition for him. But no, we just asked Paul to come on because we have some important stuff to talk about. An upcoming edtech/ed conference. But tell us a little bit about yourself, Paul, before we jump into more details about this exciting conference that's coming up next year.
Thank you. Yeah, my role at WELS is the Executive Director of WELS School Accreditation, and I am also the Associate Director of WELS Lutheran Schools. So I work with all the schools that are accredited, and I also support the district presidents with call lists and work with Jim and Cindy to support our 430 schools across the 33 states.
Excellent. And you are part of this conference that we've got coming up. The official title of the conference is WELS Education Conference. I don't actually have it up in front of me here.
Yeah, that's correct. We've been calling it Ed22 in our little circles, and Sally came up with an even better hashtag EDU22 because it rhymes. And but that's our little shorthand for it right now.
Okay, and we have a little bit of a promo video / audio that we'll play here quick, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
Your ministry is unique. In many ways, your role, setting, and audience is unlike any other within our school system.
Yet you remain united in Christ with every called brother and sister serving our Lord, different but the same.
You may be serving in a large school, small school, rural setting, suburban setting, or urban setting.
Your school may be located in the South, Southwest, Pacific Northwest, East Coast, West Coast, or Midwest.
Your students may be in early childhood, elementary, middle school, or high school.
They may be exceptionally gifted or have special needs.
No matter what your setting, we pray that this conference may better equip you to serve His lambs in your important calling.
You are invited to join us for the WELS National Education Conference, June 20th through 22nd, 2022, at the Ingleside Hotel in Pewaukee, Wisconsin.
Registration opens in January. Early bird discounts end on May 1st.
Save the date.
June 20th to the 22nd, 2022.
And visit welsedconference.com to join our mailing list.
You'll be the first to receive updates and reminders for this exciting conference.
So I heard you guys recruited some of the top voice talents in the country for that video.
That's right. Jason really liked the voice where they were saying South and Southwest, I saw when we were in the video.
Yeah, I kept on thinking like, hey, I know that person. That's fantastic.
Sounds so Southern of her to say that. Yeah.
Those were, I'm assuming, the voices of the committee or committee members.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, excellent. So coming up June, it's about less than a year now. So you guys are probably under the gun. Tell us a little bit about the purpose of the conference. A couple of years ago, we had a WELS EdTech Leadership Conference, and we kind of modified that and tell us a little bit about how that worked and what went into the thinking of the focus of the conference.
Yeah, with leadership kind of breaking off and having their conference in January in Chicago and being very successful in drawing our lay leaders and leaderships from different congregations and schools. Also, education is technology is kind of supporting both conferences and is kind of wrapped up in everything. We really wanted to have a conference that was focusing on teachers and the education that was going on in our classrooms. And we thought it was really important, hopefully with COVID in our rearview mirror, or at least people learning to live with COVID, we'll have an opportunity to get together with, we're hoping up to 500 WELS educators in Pewaukee.
Sounds like a really exciting time, Paul. I'm very thrilled to be part of the conference planning and hearing about some of the things that are going on and are planned for the event. Tell us who should be there. Is this for principals only, or is it broader than that?
Yeah, that's a question that we get a lot. And in the past, we have focused on leadership at this national conference, but this conference has really got a broader view. We really want our teachers to come. And we have a program that's really focused on educators. One of our keynotes that we're really excited to bring is a national writer and speaker named Eric Jensen. And Eric has written 32 books and has a lot to say about the brain in education and engaging students in learning. And so we really want to focus in on helping teachers and giving them tools that they can actually use in their classrooms.
So the way you've structured the conference, you've got a good keynote. Do you have certain tracks or strands or different directions somebody could go if they're trying to figure out what what's in it for them? Is there a way to help them make that decision?
Yeah, we took educational topics and kind of broke them up into 6 different strands. And we have feedback and assessment, higher order thinking and questioning, student achievement, social and emotional learning, leadership and ministry. And we're trying to package everything around those. We also have another element that we're going to introduce. Our friends at the Commission on Worship weren't able to have their worship convention this summer. And so we're excited to give them some of the pre-conference time and some of the sectionals so that they can roll out and introduce and help us to learn and love our new hymnal that's coming out.
Very exciting. So are there other keynotes that you can share with us today? Other insider information that we can give people?
Yeah, we're really excited about being back at the Ingleside. Some of you who maybe have been to conferences in the past would know it as the Country Springs Hotel. The Ingleside is under new ownership, and Sally got to tour the building with us. And it was phenomenal, the amount of money that they put in there. They've renewed all of their cooling and heating systems, their sound and their video. And so if you have a memory of the Country Springs, the Ingleside is really something new and better. So we're excited to have it back at that location. Another person that we're going to have that Cindy Holman secured for us is Dr. Depesh Nafsaria. And he is a medical doctor with a very special expertise in early literacy. And so he's going to be speaking, giving a mini keynote, and also doing some workshops. He also has a little bit of a dabbling in technology. One of the things that he's going to be speaking about is screens and how that impacts early learners. So we're excited to offer him as a really good feature of our conference.
So the venue is much improved. It is just down the road from the Center for Mission and Ministry. It still has a water park, I'm assuming, so family friendly.
Yeah,
right?
And we were able to hold the line on the price. What you paid 3 years ago is what you're going to pay or less. We have $275 for contributing schools. They will be able to pay that up through May 1st. After that, it's $375. We also have the hotel rates are really exciting. $129.
$2.
I actually wrote $1.29, so $129. And then if you want the water park package, there were a lot of people the last time we had the conference that didn't use it, and so you can add that on. So it's not built into the price. So if you're like Jason and you're going to break out your ducky wings and jump in the pool, then you can add $30 for 4 water park passes.
Oh, I didn't realize that you were there the last time I was there. Like, hey, yeah, that was a great time. We had those.
I saw you hanging out with Jim Gaffigan.
Hey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're both pasty white fat guys. A bunch of kids running around trying to keep up with them. He actually showed up. He was at a conference that I was attending. Was that at the? I forget. It was at the Kalahari. He was there at the same time as the.
Yep,
as
that
the
was
conference.
EdTech lead. Yep.
That was EdTech lead. Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I forgot.
I know the conference committee talks about this, but how many people are you hoping to have there, Paul?
We're hoping to beat the number of people that were at EdTech Lead, and we're really shooting for the 400 to 500 range. And we've encouraged all of our districts to limit some of their activities and to focus on helping people from the outlying areas to get into the area. So we're helping them earmark money to help with travel costs. So we really believe that people will be excited to hang out with each other and see each other. Sing hymns from the new hymnal. Our worship plan is also something that's really exciting. We've engaged the 3 colleges, Bethany Lutheran College, Wisconsin Lutheran College, and Martin Luther College, and their campus pastors and music people are structuring the worship for us. And we think it's going to be just a really uplifting and wonderful conference.
So in the promo video, they talked a little bit about the website and how to stay up to date. Remind us of those things if somebody wants to learn a little bit more and take advantage of this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. We are going to be rolling out more information as the fall goes along. The video that we previewed is actually going to be shown at our teachers' conferences. If you go to WELSEdconference.com, you'll be able to get more information. There's a sign up to get information as it comes out, so you won't miss anything. You'll see that President Rich Gergel will also be speaking at the conference. We are stealing him from the SEM for one of his afternoon sessions. So we think this is going to be a great time. So we really encourage you to earmark June 20th through the 22nd and get that on your calendar and bring your friends.
Excellent. Thanks so much for joining us, Paul. Great information. Blessings on the continued work of the committee. I know that is not an easy task amongst all your other stuff. Putting this all together logistically and getting all the presentations lined up. So I'm assuming you got some of that ahead of you. So blessings on that work.
Thank you. Yeah, we're really blessed with a fantastic committee. Some people that have done the EdTech lead and people that have been involved in their local teachers conferences and state teacher conferences. So it's going very well, and we're blessed to have the people involved.
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining us. All right. Boy, that was neat to get an update. And Sally, you've been a part of that. That's neat to continue to be in that work and maybe a different approach, but I think the same great purpose.
Yeah, it's really exciting to be around all these really brilliant educators because they have so many great ideas. And Paul's just shared the tip of the iceberg. We have so much more to roll out to everyone as the fall continues, and we're solidifying our presenters and some really fun activities we're going to have planned for socializing and fellowship time and things like that. There will be pre-conference announcements besides the hymnal presentations that are part of pre-conference. There are going to be other things offered on the Sunday before. So again, you want to get subscribed over at WELSEdconference.com so you can get all the e-news that comes out and be the first to know and share the good news among your fellow educators. Hopefully I'll see some of you guys there as well.
Excellent. All right. We've got the full slate of items for this WELSTech as we jump into full swing mode here. And one of those is our news in tech segment. And unless you were living under a rock, you probably heard that Apple came out with some new stuff, iPhones and watches and iPads, those kinds of things. And I was due for an upgrade. So I am in possession of a brand new iPhone 13 Pro. You can see what color if I'm holding it up here. Yeah, maybe you can't see. Oh, there we go. Sierra blue, they call that. It looks a little gray in certain lights, but it's a subtle, I'm not a big bold color guy, so I actually like their more muted colors, but very impressed so far, with the phone. I switch back and forth depending on my mood or the time of year too with an Android versus an iPhone. But I think Apple has really done some nice stuff with their phones recently. I've only had it 3 days, so this is not an exhaustive review, but I'd say the build quality is as good as ever. The display is better than ever. They call it a ProMotion display, which means that the refresh rate is about twice as much as it was with their last model. So 120 megahertz, I think it is, which means that the motion on as you swipe and use the phone is a much smoother experience. Longer battery life, which I think everybody wants, so it's easy to go a full day or even further, with this particular phone. 5G, which has improved download speeds, which since I skipped the 12, I think they introduced 5G with the 12. So that's kind of nice to have. And probably the biggest upgrade were the cameras. They have 3 cameras on the Pro model. I don't know if you can see that on here, but the camera bump is actually quite large now, which I guess is not a big deal. Once you put a case on here, it kind of evens it out. But they have a 3x zoom, which is really nice. I was up visiting my daughter and my grandsons who were in a soccer tournament and was taking pictures with this last Saturday. And that 3x zoom really came in handy, and the quality of the pictures was just awesome. Could zoom in without any camera loss or a degradation of the image quality as well. So they have a 3x telephoto. They have a wide and an extra wide or ultra wide. I don't know which they call it, but one of those actually allows for macro photography now, which is really cool. I like, and if you're not familiar with macro photography, that's when you're getting really up close, taking subjects. I think you can get up to 2 centimeters, which is not very far away, and get some nice close-up photos. So there's all kinds of other stuff that Apple introduced, but the phones obviously were the star of the show. So how about you guys? Any Apple products in your future?
I am still using my 11. I don't know about you guys.
I've still got the 11 Pro Max, but I sure am tempted. Verizon's got a pretty decent upgrade deal right now. They'll give me $1,000 for my trade-in, which is crazy. So I'm trying to figure out if I should or not.
That is an amazing trade-in value. That's awesome.
No kidding.
Yeah.
It almost feels like wrong not to do it.
Mhm.
It's all pressure. That's right, Rachel. And I hear they're going to give you a flu shot with it too.
Probably.
Yeah. I'm still rocking the iPhone SE, so I don't know. I gotta catch up to you guys. Like I said before, I gotta get on the Synod payroll. I think I don't know.
I figured you were an Android guy, Jason, for some reason.
I had been for a really long time, and then I caved because the rest of my family has iPhones, and
that is pressure. That is pressure.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
I caved. You are a blue or green bubble. Right.
I am. I used to be a green. Right. Now I'm blue.
Now you're blue. Now you're good.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did a whole show on that, as I recall, Sally. Green and blue bubbles way back when.
Oh man, yeah. I think I was on there.
Pressure of technology. Yeah.
I think you were too. Yes, I remember listening to that.
All right. We'll have to reference that in the show notes. I think we should move on to our tips and picks of the week. I'm excited about these. We've got complementary products from Rachel and Jason. If these picks still hold true from our show notes. Rachel, what do you got?
Well, Jason, I just realized we didn't fight over who was going to pick what this time.
There's still time.
I was gonna say, there's still time to pick a fight, Rachel.
Okay, so I should totally talk about the webcam, is what you're saying.
Oh, whatever you're gonna do. If you take that, then I'll take the other thing.
Okay. Well, I don't actually have the webcam, so I'm not going to talk about that.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking. My pick of the week is the Logitech Combo Touch Keyboard for the iPad Pro. I got a new iPad Pro, not this version, but the last version. So we're not going to talk about needing a new iPad because, we're just not going to talk about that. But I also got the Magic Keyboard, the really cool one that kind of what Jason's got there, that kind of lifts it off the ground a little bit. It's got the touchpad on it. And I really loved that. Except that it made it really hard to play solitaire and do jigsaw puzzles and that little fill in the square game where you do all the counting, and it's really hard to do that with that case, which I realize is a ridiculous problem, but it was driving me nuts. So I decided to trade it in, mainly because Bob Martins in our office here was getting a new iPad, and he said that he would buy my Magic Keyboard off of me. So I got the new, I got the Logitech one instead. It is considerably cheaper than the Apple version. And what I really like is that the keyboard itself will just come off. So you can put that off to the side. You still have the back piece, which has a nice little stand in it. So you can, stand and have it up at an angle and be drawing on it or putting together a jigsaw puzzle or whatever it is. And then the keyboard and the touchpad work just as well, in my opinion, as the Apple version. And so, it's kind of got that Surface Pro-ish type keyboard that just comes off and then goes back on. And for my use case, it works a lot better in my workflow. also, I use my iPad. Actually, I played for chapel at MLC this morning and have a lot of my music now comes PDF. So I put it on the iPad. And instead of having to take the iPad completely off the keyboard, I could just take the keyboard off, put it to the side. iPad was still in a case, protected. And it's a really nice device. And I definitely suggest getting one if you're in the market for that.
That's a brand new reason to get an iPad Pro is to play organ that I've never heard of, Rachel.
I haven't tried it with organ yet. Organ. I don't have the big, huge iPad. I have the, 11 or 10.5, something like that. And with organ music being 3 staffs with the pedal, it just isn't quite big enough. I probably could make it work if I needed to. But on the piano, it's just fantastic. I have on my wish list Bluetooth pedal to turn the pages. It hooks up to the app, and then it'll turn the pages for you with your foot. And I know Bethel Balgi, who teaches here and is a absolutely fantastic pianist. She uses an iPad for everything.
Wow.
They just did a concert here on Sunday, and everything was on the iPad, which you think, I don't know if you ever had to be a page turner for anyone. Or you sit down and hope that you don't lose the spot, and there's super hard music. That doesn't have to be a thing anymore.
Yes.
It is. It's really scary. That doesn't have to be a thing anymore, because you can just turn that page with a Bluetooth pedal. So maybe I should get that, and that can be my pick. So it can be my pick of the week.
Your pick next month. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, just so you know, Rachel, like I was going to do that next month. So
were you?
I totally piano is my life. It was,
That's what I thought.
Actually, no, I wasn't. It wasn't going to be for piano music. It was actually for a Kindle, because I'm too lazy to move my thumb to swipe to the next page. So I'd rather just do that with my foot.
From what I remember of you from high school, that sounds about right. So
yeah, right.
That backlit keyboard is really a must-have on these portable devices. Every time I've had one without, I just regret it. Yeah, because oftentimes the use case is kind of a lean back, on the couch or whatever, and it's at night or whatever, and it's an important feature. So it's nice to have that. All right. Jason, staying in the Logitech family, what do you got?
Well, yeah, I just figured since we were switching over to video, I should probably talk about this high quality webcam that I have going on now, so that everybody can see me in full
all your
real
glory.
Detail and all my glory. That's exactly right. Well, maybe not quite that. It's, you got to come to that WELS Ed conference, I think, to see me in all my glory. So this is just like the shadow as I'm passing by. I picked up very recently a Logitech C922X Pro Stream webcam. And the reason for this is because I recently switched jobs, and I work from home a lot of time now. And because of that, I live in Zoom. So I needed a webcam that wasn't attached to my laptop, because it was one of those things I was kind of looking down like this, and, the camera's looking up at the ceiling, and, there's weird backlighting, and it's just trying to get everything to look the way that I wanted it to. It was really difficult. And it was $100, something like that. Oh, I think it looks like it came down. But yeah, and it's real. The picture quality is really nice. It's got a built-in microphone. And I've really appreciated how easy it is to use, how well it works, and the quality of the picture that I get out of it. And it's just literally just plug and play. So, and then, if we're talking about refresh rates, I think it's I don't know, it's got to be somewhere around 700 hertz is how quickly it does. Oh no, 30 FPS. Never mind. So
60 frames 60, at 720.
Okay, so it'll definitely. I was just trying to be faster than your iPhone, but apparently that wasn't the case. So. But yeah, it's super simple. I really trust Logitech stuff. They make some good hardware. So, whether you want to make your iPad look like a Surface, or if you want to look good on your conference calls, or, for the WELSTech podcast, this is a good product. So I've been really happy with it so far.
Is that what you're using right now?
Yep. That's my camera right now.
Excellent. Yeah. We're seeing you in all your glory.
Oh,
perfect. Good pick. And actually, we've been at the Synod office, we've been using the 920s for a long time. And in fact, they've been around forever, 5-6 years, and there was just no competition. I mean, they are really the king of webcams. So,
yep. And I think this is the replacement for the 920s. Because I was looking for a 920 and I couldn't find one.
Okay, good. All right. Sally Draper, pick of the week.
My turn, and I'm going to talk hardware as well, but it is not from Logitech. So no competition on this pick. I don't believe. It's kind of different. But it's actually a machine that I've used a lot lately for Sunday school and education type purposes. It's the Silhouette Cameo, which is a machine that will take computer input and cut things out for you. So basically, I've had a Cameo, I don't know, probably 8 years or more. I have the version 2. They're up to a version 4 right now. Price is around $300. Sometimes they have a good after Thanksgiving Day sale, but normally that price is pretty solid. They don't do a lot of sales on the machine. And it will take all types of materials, in the past, primarily papers and vinyls, and cut them out in different ways. And you can find a multitude of designs that you can purchase online to cut with your machine. You can also import images and trace around them and have it cut things. I did my daughter-in-law's school logo to put some vinyl on a clipboard for her with the school logo. So you can do all kinds of different media types. And this new machine actually will cut things that are thicker. My machine is an older version. It won't do that, but it'll cut things like felt and, cardboard and different things that are a bit thicker. It even cuts some fondant sheets to make like icing in certain shapes or whatever. So there's lots of possibilities here. There's lots of different blades that you can buy for it. You can actually put in pins into the carriage and have it draw things very precisely based on the computer input. And one of the things I just did actually this weekend for Sunday school, this is what made me think of it, was a feature called Print and Cut, where you can do kind of a layout, trace around things. In my case, I was trying to get just a little Jesus sticker, and I put a bunch of Jesus images that I found at openclipart.com or .org, I think it is. And then I drew around them a circle so that it would cut in a particular circle shape. Pretty powerful software, lots of versatility. You can have it trace things or whatever. But before I cut it, I printed it with my normal inkjet printer, and I told it I wanted registration marks, and it'll actually put some marks on the borders of the page that the cutting machine will recognize. It'll scan for those registration marks to align itself to where your print is and where it should cut. And so just very easily you can create all kinds of things that are custom printed from your printer and then cut very precisely the way you want it to be. I've done a lot of different kind of paper crafts with it, things like lanterns and pop-up cards and all kinds of cool things like that. But again, most recently, I did a whole lot of letters cut out for my daughter-in-law's classroom as she was preparing to decorate her bulletin boards for the new school year. So very helpful for teachers, I would think, and maybe something a school would even invest in for their teachers so that there would be one on site that they could share. So lots of capabilities, very extensive software, lots you can learn and do with it. And that's the Silhouette Cameo. It's kind of a parallel product to Cricut machines, which are also very popular. But I would say from everything I've read, the software for the Cameo for the Silhouette line is just a little bit more robust than the Cricut. But Cricut would be a comparable product. This is the one I have and the one I recommend. So
I'm not telling my wife about this review.
She may be a Cricut owner, huh?
She has the Cricut. It's probably a couple years on it, but she would be very excited about this because she was using her Cricut pretty extensively for her bulletin boards this year too. So it's a slick product. They've streamlined the way it looks. Even it looks like it's belongs in the 2020s. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What's the price tag for it?
It's $300, but they do package their software, a basic version of their software with that. I would recommend getting the $50 upgrade to their designer level of software. It's a one-time fee, not a yearly thing. But that's what allows you to import a lot more things like SVGs. And it was interesting when Kevin and I were part of Makerspace and had access to a laser cutter, I could use the same files from my Silhouette and the SVGs I had and things to send to the laser cutter. So it's pretty powerful what it can do. So
excellent. Good. Thank you for sharing. All right. My pick of the week is a continuing series. I've got a vlog series on vlogging. Last post was about camera, and I mentioned that on the show. This time I'm talking about microphones, and the vlogging microphone I would recommend, and this is pretty standard across, I think, a lot of vloggers. If you look on YouTube, this is kind of what they're using. The Wireless Go 2, it's a dual channel wireless microphone. They call it a system, but basically it's made up of 3 parts. You've got the 2 transmitters, so you can actually hook it up to 2 voices or 2 sources, and then 1 receiver, which has a little clip. You can hook it to the hot shoe of your camera or your video device and plug it into the audio in, and it will receive those 2 sources. It is very small. It can package up into a very small package you could put in your pocket even, or purse. You can wear these devices, and you can also hook up a lav mic to them. In my blog post, I have a suggestion for a lav package, the Rode Smart Lav, that you can use. But the whole system itself is just kind of a rock solid selection. It's not super cheap. It's about $300. It seems to be the going price today. But you get what you pay for. One of the neat things about it is its range. It'll go quite a ways. You can be quite a far way away from the receiver. But it also records a separate channel so that if you get out of range, it will continue to record on device, so that if your connection is sketchy, you will not lose your audio feed. So it'll continue to record on the local device, and then you can marry the audio and the video in post, so to speak. Audio quality is excellent. The mics come with a windscreen, but also the ability to add a lav mic. But this is just a nice compact solution. Whether you're out and about or whether you're in your office, this is kind of a nice solution. You can get probably 7 hours of battery life on this, but really you're not going to be using it for that long before you recharge it. I really don't have anything negative to say, about it, other than when you have it on your lapel, you can kind of see some of the pictures I'm showing. These folks are using lav mics here, but if you've got the thing clipped to your collar, it looks like a little chiclet box, so to speak. And there is a little light on it, which you can't turn off. So it's very apparent that you're wearing it. So I would almost always suggest attaching a little lav mic and putting this in your back pocket or something. But just a nice solution if you want to capture good audio. You can also, with the right adapter, connect this to an iPhone or an Android phone through one of those available jacks. So if you want to record external audio rather than using the onboard microphones for those devices, this might be a good way to go. That is my pick of the week. We will put a link in the show notes to that blog post as well.
Excellent.
All right. The next segment of our show we call Ministry Resource, where we kind of look high and low for things that are immediately, hopefully, useful to our folks in ministry settings, whether that be pastor, teacher, staff minister, or whatever. And we've got some good resources here as usual. What do we got, Sally?
Well, first up, we wanted to make mention that we got an email from Pastor John Gunther, and he was asking about something that we've talked about on WELSTech for many years, and that's our Google calendar of the Christian worship lectionary. The current Christian worship hymnal, which is very soon to be retired in place of the new Christian worship hymnal, but the red hymnal has a 3-year lectionary, and that has been digitized and stored on a Google Calendar. So if you are used to subscribing to the Google Calendar and getting the weekly readings and the hymn of the day and things like that, that still exists out on Google Calendar, but the new Christian worship hymnal has a different lectionary. And it's exciting because as part of the Christian worship hymnal, there is a new lectionary online that you can access for free and make use of. And let me see if I can remember the URL and bring that up on my screen so I can talk about it
right
correctly.
Here if you want, Sally.
Oh, good. Go. Builder.christianworship.com. It has the different church events, and when you click into an event, then you get the different readings for the Sunday. I think it also, Martin, has verse of the day and hymn of the day, prayer of the day, all those kind of things included in the listings that come up. The gospel acclamation is there as well. So it's available for free. It's actually part of the software that's going to be the worship builder software that's an add-on to the new Christian worship hymnal. But this is already out there. And even if you don't purchase that service builder software, when it becomes available, you can still use this tool to access the lectionary electronically. So check it out. And the Year C planning tool is available already for the entire year. So we'll have links to these things in the show notes. Exciting times. We just came off of the Hymnal Week celebration in many of our churches of some of the new music that's part of the new Christian worship hymnal. I don't know if you guys had that in your congregation this Sunday, but we sang some really beautiful hymns that are new to the hymnal. It had some special musicians as well. So it's a fun time to explore this new hymnal.
Yeah, these hymnal resources are going to be trickling out, over the next months and maybe a year from now, and even some electronic resources. This builder product, I've been involved with kind of getting the hymns and the psalms in there. So we're closing in on getting all the content in there and making that product available. So very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We have one other ministry resource we wanted to share. I was busy last week kind of updating all the podcasting platforms, and there's a bunch of them now. And as you know, the Synod has a number of podcasts. We have Daily Devotion, Family Devotion, Through the Bible in 3 Years, Military Devotion, Early Childhood Educators Devotion. All those are podcasts. So we now have them up and available with new artwork available at Apple Podcasts, as well as Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Stitcher. I was working on all 4 of those last week. So if you're into podcasts and want to start your day right with any of those podcasting apps, those should all be there now. So I would just do a search for WELS, and those should come up for you, and you can kind of see what the frequency is. The daily devotion obviously is daily. Through the Bible in 3 Years is also daily. The rest, I think, are weekly. So those are available.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Thanks for that work, Martin. Sure. And that actually leads us right into our community feedback segment of the show, because we recently had a comment from Erica Chapman, who went all the way back to WELSTech episode 420, looking for information about the voice behind the Through My Bible podcast. Through My Bible is a daily Bible reading that covers the entire Bible in 3 years. And that was quite an undertaking for someone to agree to record the entire Bible. And that special person that did those recordings was Pastor David Whitty. And she went back to find out more about Pastor Whitty and left a really nice comment. Martin, you know Pastor Whitty well.
I kind of twisted his arm. He is my father-in-law, and he for 3 years toiled at reading all those Bible readings into his computer. He was kind of in semi-retirement and fighting cancer at the time, and it was a joy for him. He had a lot of fun with it, but boy, that's a daily trudge too, to get that right. And he was very particular about pronunciations and talked to some profs and those kinds of people to make sure he got all the old Hebrew names right. So he had a good time with it, but we are certainly blessed to have this legacy from him. He went to heaven a few years back. So thank you, Erica, for reaching out. And it's good to know that somebody is kind of hitting those old episodes too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she said, I've so enjoyed his voice and the expectancy in my heart as the little opening music begins. It really has become an expected and nourishing way to encounter the scriptures daily. And I bet there are many that feel that way. Just looking forward to hearing what the next section's going to be and hearing his consistent voice introduce it and read it for us. So What a blessing.
Excellent.
And maybe just a good time to give a shout out to Julie Duran. It was super cool that we got a comment on the website. We don't get as many of those as we'd love to get, but Julie had just reworked many different components of our website, and the commenting capabilities was one of those. So it was awesome to see it trotted out and used, and Julie's work come to fruition. So thank you, Julie Duran. She's our WELS webmaster extraordinaire, and she can do it all. So appreciate her help. Also want to give a shout out to Christ in Media, a wonderful think tank kind of group out of Bethany Lutheran College, headed by Dr. Tom Custer, a great friend of WELSTech. And Christ in Media is back. We got an announcement from them just this week that they are working on an XR project and festival to be held April 1st and 2nd of 2022. That's a project they had kicked off in the fall of I guess in the fall of 2020 with the idea, or maybe even the fall of 2019.
The years kind of run together with this COVID thing in the middle, don't they?
Yeah.
Did we do it in 2020?
It's
Darn
just a
COVID.
mixed up thing.
Right.
The good news is it was postponed, but it is back on track, and they're having it over this school year with the culmination in early April. And there's still room for high schools to participate. So the concept behind it is that the students would learn about virtual reality, extended reality, that kind of thing, and then put into practice how it might be used in ministry and reaching out with the gospel good news. Just a wide open field and lots of development happening there. And we are excited that Christ in Media is sponsoring this look at gospel development as well. So it should be a fun thing to see how it all plays out and what kind of projects they come up with. But as if that wasn't enough, Christ in Media also sponsors an online conference each fall. That did happen in 2020 because we were all really good at being virtual then. And it's going to happen again this year, kicking off on October 18th. The conference itself is called Gospel Outreach with Media. Their web address is GOWM.org. And if you go there now, you can see all of the past conferences and great resources and presentations that were part of those conferences, still very timely and could be very helpful to your ministry efforts. So check out the history and be sure to watch the site for the October 18th opening of the 2021 Gospel Outreach with Media Conference.
Special blessing, Christ in Media group, been around for years now, and especially Dr. Tom leading that group. Lots of great stuff. So they're keeping it going. Excellent. Community feedback is one of my favorite sections of the show. If you want to contribute, whether that be a voicemail or an email or a comment on show notes, or in our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, etc., you can find all that information on our show notes page, WELStech.wels.net. We've been sprucing it up lately, so take advantage of all the great work that Sally does. And you can see everything that we have done in the past, all the way back to 2008. 52 episodes there, I see. And all the stuff we do and involved with, but most importantly, the way to get in touch with us. So leave us a comment, tell us what you think, future interview suggestions, podcast topics, those kinds of things are all most welcome. Also most welcome our show guests today, especially Rachel and Jason. Rachel, you got anything special coming up in the next month or two there at MLC? What you working on?
Well, actually, I'm going to spend a pretty good deal of time in Wisconsin. I'm doing a WELS visit, and I believe it's in Heartland. So really looking forward to that, and then going to get to visit my family for fall break. So we do have homecoming this week. So lots of activities going on. Students with interesting costumes wandering around and doing interesting things, which always makes me laugh.
How's that PhD work coming?
It is going all right. Trying to take it one day at a time and hopefully get that paper done soon. Okay. If anyone wants to, help with that.
Chip in. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, Rachel. I would help you out, but I just remembered I got this thing. I got to go and do some stuff. I totally would, but man,
Jason, what are you up to in the next month or so?
Same old.
Other than no good.
Other than no good, causing all kinds of trouble. You shouldn't have showed me that podcast website. I got to go back to episode 1. I think I might have some interesting little tidbits for next time you guys have me on the show.
He's going to troll us.
It's not trolling, not at all. I just might bring up some painful old memories. That's all.
I don't go back to episode 1 ever.
From when you were inexperienced podcasters. Actually, I should go back to my first episode. That's what I should really do.
That's what we should do. We should do a little critique. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Get Rachel involved with that too.
All right. Totally on board.
Okay. Coming up next time, we're going to spend some time talking about, I don't know if it's a new topic. It's got a new name, at least for me, that I've been getting into lately, and that's called personal knowledge management, PKM. It's a whole thing. Who'd have thunk? The ability, and we'll go into it more detail, but the ability to kind of capture what you're thinking and do a little bit of more deep thinking, all kinds of tools in the industry around that, how to capture that stuff in your head. So come back in a couple of weeks and we'll talk a little bit more about that. Thanks everybody for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the show. Bring a friend next time or two, and we'll talk to you on 664. Bye-bye.